All right, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to add data analysis to Excel using a Mac. So there's already a video of how to use data analysis for Windows. So here's how I would add data analysis for Mac. And then I'm going to do a little bit with how to build a histogram. So to add data analysis if you're on a Mac, you come up to Excel and you go to Tools. And then go down to Excel Add-ins, click Analysis Tool Pack, and then click OK. So again, go to Tools, Excel Add-ins, click on Analysis Tool Pack, and then click OK. And when you do that, you come to Data, and then Data Analysis there. And once you do this once, it will always be there. So once you have it, this has some Excel functions built into it, right? So it has a lot of stuff we will learn in this course, as well as some stuff we will not learn in this course. But the first one thing I want to talk about is a histogram, right? Because that's kind of what we're doing this week. So if you click on OK, now you have some stuff filled in here because I've already started. So I'll clear this out so you can see it again. Your input range is your data. So my data right now is height in inches of students from past years, right? Bin range is how you want your histogram bins to be broken apart. All right, I don't have one built yet. We'll build one in a minute, but you can leave it empty. If you have labels, you're going to check labels, which I do, so mine's checked. Output options tell you where you want to put the data. So I can either go to a new worksheet, a new workbook, or I can tell where it wants to go. I always like to tell mine where I want it to go, so I have that checked. And you always have to check on chart. So let's build a quick histogram. So first, I put my cursor input range and I highlight my data. So my data is highlighted. I have no bin created yet, so I'm going to leave that blank. My output's where I want it to go, so I'll click on there and I'm going to put it right there. And then I want a chart, so I check that box. And I click OK, and I now have my histogram. The issue with letting Excel decide, or any statistical software to decide your bin, sometimes it does a good job and sometimes it does not. So this is kind of Excel applying. I don't know for sure which math formula it uses, but it has a algorithm in the software that kind of decides its bins. But you can see it kind of breaks them apart pretty horribly. But what's good about this is once you see this, you can say, okay, all right, I can see here, it looks like it's breaking it 2.5 inches. So I'm going to go with 3 inches. So we're going to say that our class width is 3 inches, right? So we have a class width of 3 inches. So now I'm going to create my own bin here. I'm going to recall it the bin, right? And now I even call it inches, so you know which one this one is. And I want to know where to start. So you can see they started with 52. But if you want to see where you want to start, if you highlight your data, you can sort it in Excel. So I highlight my data and I click Sort. Expand. That way your data, if it's got multiple columns, it will stay lined up. So I am going to sort height, because that's what I care about, height in inches, and I'm going to sort from smallest to largest. And it has a header, basically a data point, so height will stay where it's at. And now it is sorted, everybody, right? So you can see 52. So we can stick with 52 here. And then the next one is 3 inches apart. So 52 plus 3 is 55. Then 58. And then after you have a couple with Excel, if you highlight a couple columns, take your big plus, move it to the bottom right where it changes to either smaller or darker. I can now drag this down and it's going to keep counting by threes. And you can see 76 is the highest, but it went poor. So I'm going to go to 79. All right? And I'm going to stop that. So there is my new bin. So now I'm going to rerun the data analysis. And instead, I am going to use my bin. So I'm going to highlight my bin in inches and put that in. I'm going to change where it goes so we can compare the two. I'll go right below it, so we'll go down here. And again, I want a chart. And I click OK. And now, my histogram is separated much better. Right? And now you can see we can kind of look at the data. It is almost bell-shaped, right? It does have a little bit of outliers down here. So someone could argue it's a little skewed to the left because I have this little longer tail here, but it is starting to get a nice bell shape, so I would argue that it's symmetric. If you don't want the more on there, you can just easily just delete it off your sheet, and it takes it right off your chart. All right, we should always give it a name. So this is a histogram of heights, right? And then my bin is called inches, so I can just change that from saying bin and just change this name to inches. And that should update that name. It did not, so that's fine. We're just click in there and delete it too. Inches. And we now have a nice label. And there's all kind. If you click on this, Excel opens up these other chart designs and formats where you can kind of change the format and the layout if you want to try different things. You know, so I can just click on some of these. You can see it changes how it looks all around it, and that's just a preference thing, right? So you can pick one that you kind of like. You can change your colors. You can do quick layout where you can then pick stuff like it has the titles. So there's lots of options here for Excel, and you can just kind of play around and see which one you like. So that's a quick video on how to use data analysis to build a histogram. There's all kinds of other charts in here as well. So if you go to Insert, I think it's under Insert, yeah, Charts. So there you can see we have the column, the bar, the line, which we all learn about. There's our scatter, a Pareto. Histogram's already built in, but again, if you do that one, it doesn't let you pick your bin. So that's why I like the one in data analysis. So you can kind of play around. That's pi. So you can play around with the different types of charts in Excel. Our book kind of goes through some of these as well. And just email me if you kind of have questions. But that's quick, again, how to get data analysis onto your Mac. And once you add it, it's there. If you need to add it to Windows, then go to, please check the video where it says data analysis for Windows. And email if you have any questions.